host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com. We broadcast live on YouTube, X, Roku, and Amazon. I am your host, Andrew Romanella. We got about 30 minutes and change with each other today. It's a Wednesday, which means it is...
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Hump day.
That's right. That's right. Hump day headlines for the people from Major League Baseball, from the National Basketball Association, possibly from the Four Nations Cup as we get ready for the finale on Thursday. So a full slated show for the people. You can get in on the action, YouTube and X. Just go to YouTube or X, hit the comments section, and you can tune in live on the show. Really appreciate the people over the last few days that have been tuning in on the show and the people that tune in on the social media. It's the Rome Show 1. It's located in the bottom left-hand side of your viewing screen. The Rome Show 1. That's the Rome Show, the number 1. Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and all of the social medias. Major League Baseball has started, ladies and gentlemen. Pitchers and catchers are all at spring training. We are officially 3 days away from the official start of Major League Baseball spring training. And Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, came out and spent about 30 to 35 minutes with the media the other day talking about a plethora of issues and topics in Major League Baseball. And we here at the Rome Show would like to get into a few of those topics on our Hump Day headlines today. So without further ado, let's dive into some Major League Baseball headlines on a
Hump day.
That's right. It's a hump day. Let's start with Mike Trout. That's right. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, with their first-year manager, Ron Washington, will be moving all-star center fielder Mike Trout to right field. The idea of this move for Mike Trout is to allow him a better opportunity to stay healthy throughout the 162-game regular season. Over the last 4 years of Mike Trout's career, it has been very injury-ridden, okay? In a total of 648 possible games Mike Trout could have played over the last 4 seasons, he has only played in 266. So essentially, Mike Trout is playing in 33% of his team's games over the last 4 seasons. And that is not what you want if you're the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, outside of the fact that Mike Trout is one of the best players in Major League Baseball. You also committed nearly a decade or more to building your entire franchise around him. Now, we're not going to spend time today going into what the Angels have done wrong here, because this conversation today is merely about Mike Trout making a switch from center field to right field and giving you a glimpse into what Mike Trout's career even looks like. Because I think, A, there's a generation of people, but B, people just forget in general how good this player was / is if fully healthy. And a lot of the issues that have gone on over the last few years, I do blame the Angels for not putting enough players around him, for wasting his prime years, for not spending enough money truly building around him. But the injuries, the availability, the constantly getting hurt, you can't look much farther than Mike Trout. And if you look at your screen, you have Mike Trout's stats over the entirety of his career since his first season in Los Angeles in 2011. And I want you to go all the way to the left-hand side column really quickly and look at those little stars. The little stars right there are the amount of all-star games he's been voted to. 8 straight years. Mike Trout was voted an all-star. Now go all the way to the far right column. Okay, don't even look at the numbers yet. In 2012, Rookie of the Year. 2014, Most Valuable Player. 2016, Most Valuable Player. 2019, Most Valuable Player. In 9 of his 12 primary starting years from 2011 to 2023, he was top 8 in the Most Valuable Player of the Year voting. In his career, including the 3 most valuable players he won, Mike Trout has finished top 2 in MVP voting 7 times. Okay? That's how good this player is. Mike Trout's career batting average is .299. Okay. He's got 378 career homers, 954 career RBIs, 1,648 career hits. From 2012 to 2019, Mike Trout never collected less than 120 hits in a season. And for 5 straight seasons, collected 170 or more hits. Look no further than 2012, okay? Because if you look at the last 4 years where we're talking about Mike Trout only playing in 30% of his team's games, he played in 36, he played in 119, he played in 82, he played in 29. But when you look at the 2012 119 game year, you look at the fact that when he's healthy and he's playing, it's always going to be elite. Because in that season, he played in 119 games, collected 124 hits. Okay? The fact is, Mike Trout would be considered, I think, a Mount Rushmore baseball player of all time if he didn't have the injuries that have knocked his career, especially over the last 4 to 5 years. But if you look at that game played column in general, after his 5th year in the league, he's never played more than 140 games. And only one time in the last 5 seasons has Mike Trout played over 100 games. So unfortunately, recency history bias is going to remember Mike Trout as not a great baseball player. But the fact of the matter is, Mike Trout is one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Just look at the numbers. And sadly, because the last 5 years of his career have been so injury-ridden, you're not really going to remember the Rookie of the Year, 3-time most valuable player, 11-time All-Star, 8 straight years of being voted an All-Star, 7 straight seasons of 120 hits or more, 5 straight seasons of 170 hits or more. You're not going to really remember that unless you're falling in my generation. Okay. When Mike Trout was a rookie, it was my sophomore year of college. So I can remember / feel / be saddened by now the fact that he's still not that player anymore. And it's sad. And he won't probably hit certain milestones that he was almost guaranteed to hit had he stayed healthy. So Mike Trout now is going to move from center field to right field, because the Angels are hoping that's going to alleviate the pressures on his body and allow him to get back to form of playing baseball close to 130 plus games a year. Playing 162, it's out of the question. That's not going to happen anymore. But playing 130, if that produces the numbers we just saw on the screen, sign me up for that 16 times over and 32 times on Sunday, because Mike Trout is, when healthy, at 100%, the best player in Major League Baseball over the course of his career, okay? If you look at a healthy Mike Trout from 2011 to 2025, I guarantee you, there's not even like I'm afraid to say this statement. If Mike Trout stayed healthy the entirety of his career from 2011 to right now, you would be having conversations of him being the greatest baseball player of all time. And it's sad that the injuries derailed his career like that. But with some years left and some opportunity and a little bit of change, moving to right field, playing some more DH, maybe you can revive. And who knows? You're only sitting 122 homers away from 500. You're going to get over 1,000 RBIs. You never know. You just never know what Mike Trout could do in the last 5 years of his career to make the holistic body of work be the Hall of Famer, top 5, top 10 player of all time that we all believed. I mean, seriously, the same can be said for Ken Griffey Jr., whose home run hitting and last 7 to 8 years of his career were derailed because of injury. So we'll see. I love the decision by the Angels. I love the open-mindedness of Mike Trout. And I'm praying, as a pure baseball fan in general, that Mike Trout gets back to the Mike Trout that we have seen and known over the course of my time being a Major League Baseball fan in his prime. It is
Hump Day.
And we got headlines for you, including Rob Manfred's comments on Major League Baseball, okay, on the Los Angeles Dodgers, and on, automated balls and strikes. So where do we want to go first? Let's go automated balls and strikes first. You heard that correctly, and it's up on your screen now. The fact of the matter is, Major League Baseball over the last 3 to 5 years has been testing this ABS system, or automated balls and strikes. This is a response to a probably what feels like multiple decades worth of conversation about umpiring in baseball. And I have to be honest, right? It's in every sport. How many times we turn on the microphone on a Rome show any day of the week during National Football League, and we're like, these officials are terrible. I got yellow flags everywhere. We can't watch any of these players play. So the officiating conversation in terms of sports has always been a thing, okay? But in baseball, it really took a heightened turn a few years back when the installation of challenges and instant replay got brought into the mix. And then this conversation of, well, what do we do with the balls and strikes? Because now when I watch television, I have this little strike zone on the TV. And based on what the strike zone's telling me, that was a bad call by the umpire. And now on X, I have the opportunity to go on and check out an MLB umpiring report post-game. And I can see how many balls and strikes he missed based on the technology. So why do we have these guys back here guessing balls and strikes and being beat by the catcher's ability to catch the ball when we could just have technology do it? Logical thought, common thought in America in the years 2000s, okay? But not everything becomes better with technology. And as Major League Baseball has been testing this system in minor league baseball, in independent professional baseball, you found a lot of flaws with it. So ABS, or automated balls and strikes, has existed in in the game of baseball for about 5 years now. However, this is the first year you're going to see ABS in conjunction with Major League Baseball, which just goes to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we are that close to automated balls and strikes. However, okay, I need you to tune in to 60% of the spring training games, okay, because that's how many games are going to have the automated balls and strike system. So essentially about 13 stadiums in Major League Baseball spring training, which covers about 60% of the games that will be played in spring training, will have this automated balls and strike system, okay? On top of the automated balls and strikes, each player and on the field, so pitcher, catcher, or hitter, have 2 challenges per game, okay, that they can use. Challenges last about 15 to 17 seconds, according to the history of analytics and data collected on this in, as I mentioned earlier, minor league baseball and independent professional baseball. The final note you need to know on this before we watch and then we judge, okay? This is not a scenario where there's no longer an umpire behind home plate. It's also not a scenario where we're just going to have a picture screen up that says, oh, that's a ball or that's a strike. It's a scenario where there's an earpiece in the umpire's helmet, okay? And he's standing there over home plate, and he's looking at the pitch, just like the hitter, just like the catcher. And the minute the pitch crosses home plate, he's going to get a reference in his head that says strike. And then he's going to go strike. And that's it, okay? The real issue sometimes occurs with balls because nothing is really said during a ball. But nonetheless, it's not you watching at home and just a catcher, a pitcher, and a hitter and no umpire anymore. No, the umpire still exists. The umpire is still going to make the call. The umpire is still going to be there for plays at the plate and other things that need to exist that the automated balls and strike zone, like was that a swing or was it not, cannot pick up. So it's not like you're just now eliminating the umpire. It's just the way the umpire's job, especially behind home plate, happens is going to be completely different. So we'll see. Okay. This is a big thing for Major League Baseball. One of many big things that, one, needs to be discussed in Major League Baseball, and it is, but 2, might need to be changed in Major League Baseball. And that part of the conversation we'll save for after the commercial break, because Rob Manfred also discussed the Dodgers, how much they're spending, the luxury tax, and baseball's CBA, which has about a year left on it. And with so many questions up in the air about this sport, its television deals, where the money's coming from, there's a lot of questions to be answered in the next 365 days. Rob Manfred started answering some of those questions, specifically directed towards the Dodgers, the luxury tax, and how much money they spend. And we are going to answer some of those questions for you on the back end of this commercial break. So stick with us, because we have to talk Rob Manfred's comments on the Dodgers spending over the luxury tax this offseason. And if I can give you some news and notes on the National Basketball Association to get you ready for half number 2, I will. It's the Rome Show on a
Day.
Stick with us after this commercial break.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them, with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
It's the
That's right. The Rome Show. 12ouncesports.com. We broadcast live. YouTube, X, Roku TV, Amazon TV. I'm Andrew Romanello. We got about 10 minutes left in the show. It's that's right. It's a hump day, and we're hoping you're having fun as we go through our hump day headlines, focusing a lot on Major League Baseball today, as Major League Baseball is 3 days away from the official start of spring training and a month away from the start of regular season games. Get in on the action. Comment on YouTube and X if you want to give us your thoughts and your opinions. We continue on with what we talked about slightly prior to the commercial break, and that's Rob Manfred's comments on the Los Angeles Dodgers, Rob Manfred's comments on the luxury tax, and Rob Manfred's comments on TV deals, national and local, and how that could affect Major League Baseball. Here's the first comment about the Dodgers. Disparities should be, it certainly is, at the top of my list of concerns about what's occurring in the sport, Manfred said. When I say I can't be critical of the Dodgers, they're doing what the system allows. If I'm going to be critical of someone, it's going to be the Dodgers. It's not going to be the Dodgers. It's going to be the system. That system, ladies and gentlemen, is called a luxury tax, essentially, okay? And the luxury tax or luxury threshold is essentially designed to be in place of what other sports have as a salary cap, and it allows teams to make a conscious decision. Hey, listen, you can spend beyond what in theory our luxury cap is, or our salary cap is, which in 2024 was $237 million. But for baseball, that's not a cap, it's a threshold. So you can go over that threshold, but the certain amount of money that you go over that threshold, your team is now going to be taxed on that dollar figure. So for example, okay, if the threshold's 237, the Dodgers, their contract, their salary is $392 million total. Okay, so they're over $150 million over the luxury tax threshold. So they're going to have to pay a hefty penny back to the outlets of Major League Baseball that those taxes go to. And Rob Manfred's point is, just because the Dodgers can spend all that money, make that conscious decision, and be okay paying that much amount of taxes, doesn't mean that it's wrong that they're doing that. That is just the rule. Well, Manfred continues in his conversation with the media the other day, talking about the answers and what needs to happen. He says, I'm not going to get into what the answer is, Manfred said when asked whether he would seek a salary cap in the next round of bargaining. We're a year away. I have owners with really strongly held views that I need to co-lease into a position that will ultimately take to the MLB PA. Sorry, words are hard right now. I don't think starting that debate publicly is a good start. Whatever we settle on, we're going to present in the collective bargaining process and try to handle it privately in order to get a deal. He finished with this. I do think baseball needs to alter its approach in advance of these negotiations. I think we need more central control over all the rights, whether they're traditionally regarded as national or local. And we should be making an effort to make our product more national, because those national games are worth a lot more that are sold only in the local market. Yeah, when any time your sport ends up on national television, generally that money back for the sport is so much greater. I mean, look at the NFL. Look at the SEC. Those football examples just prove to you what the national television deals can do for your sport. Look at the NBA. Right? Look how much money NBA players are making right now. That all started 10, 15 years ago when the league decided they wanted to brand their stars and not their teams. And that made it an easier contract to find nationally. Therefore, ESPN, TNT, all of these places that wanted more basketball, TBS, they want more basketball on their airways. It works out for them. Whether you think the game of basketball isn't as much fun or not, it worked out for the NBA because they promoted the stars. They marketed the human, not the team. And they received the national money they needed over their last bunch of years of contracts, just signed another one. And now their league is prospering. Whereas baseball has these regional deals where I can't watch the Kansas City Royals in New York or New Jersey unless I have to pay for the MLB package. I can't watch. There's not a national brand to Major League Baseball. It's all regional focused. Where do you live? What team are you a fan of? We're going to market to you. You can watch the games. And what Manfred said there is we can't have that anymore. We need to be able to brand our sport nationally. We want people in Washington to want to watch teams that play in Florida. We need teams in Chicago or people in Chicago to be able to watch the Cubs and the White Sox, but also be able to see the Angels, the Athletics, and the Giants. That's just how branding needs to work. And you look at the three other sports, starting with the NFL, then the NBA, then the NHL. They've done such a better job of marketing nationally than locally that they have prospered the last 10 to 15 years comparative to Major League Baseball. So it's a lot of questions to be answered by Rob Manfred, okay? A lot of questions in the collective bargaining agreement. A lot of belief that this could lead to a work stoppage because there's so much to be answered in baseball at this given moment. But I say all that to finish with this. It's an exciting year, I think. The talent pool is high in Major League Baseball. And just because the Dodgers have so much talent doesn't ever mean they're just going to go out and win this baseball season. By the way, for reference point, the New York Yankees have spent in the history of time $348 million in taxes for being over the luxury threshold. The next closest team is the Los Angeles Dodgers at $151.7 million. So when the Steinbrenner family over there tells you that they don't have enough money to spend like the Dodgers, they're lying. Okay, because they are the ones that created the Los Angeles Dodgers. The only reason why Steve Cohen and the New York Mets need to do what Steve Cohen and the New York Mets need to do is because for the last 35 years, the Yankees have done that. So I don't necessarily want to hear a conversation about the Yankees not spending money because they can't. No, they can. This whole thing is New York Yankees through and through. Literally half the information on this thing is from 2003 to 2021, where the New York Yankees were the spender. They were the threshold. They were the taxes. Okay? So Steinbrenners, Cashman, they want to tell you anything different, that's a lie. Because literally the numbers prove it. The numbers in the National Basketball Association are awesome. Okay, some of the things that some of these players are doing, I also think you're in a peak of talent changeover in the NBA, and you'll be able to see that based on some of the stats that I'm going to give you right now to finish the show. So, I got the first half leaders in the NBA, okay, individually and as a team, so we can get you ready for the second half. If you were wondering, the two best teams in the league, yeah, I don't know if this is going to surprise you. It surprised me at first, though I knew it. It's just when you hear these team names, you're like, okay, wow, this is awesome. The Cleveland Cavaliers and the Oklahoma City Thunder are both leading the league with 44 victories, the most by about 6 games on either side, West or East. Individually, let's go there first. The leading scorer in the league is on that Oklahoma City Thunder team. That's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 32.5 points per game. Trae Young leads the league in assists at 11.5 per game. Steph Curry leads the league in three-pointers made per game at 4.1. On the defensive side of the ball, Domantas Sabonis. Yeah, he leads the league in rebounds per game, 14.6. Reckless abandonment, those stats. Victor Wembanyama, no surprise here, leads the league in blocks per game at 3.8. And then Dyson Daniels, of the Atlanta Hawks. You haven't heard that name, you should. Swiper knows swiping. Dude can play defense, leads the league in steals at 3.0 per game. In terms of team stats, in terms of team numbers, the leading offense in the league is the Memphis Grizzlies at 123.3 points per game. However, the leading defense is the aforementioned Oklahoma City Thunder. They only give up 104.9 points per game. For reference, their offense scores 117.5 points per game. So they have also the best differential in the league at plus 12.9. That's what tells me right there that I believe in the second half, OKC is going to keep it up and they're going to be able to make a run to the finals. The Denver Nuggets, they're shooting the best from the field at 51%. However, the Houston Rockets are great off the glass. They lead the league with 48 rebounds per game as a team. And Victor Wembanyama, most blocks. The San Antonio Spurs, also the most blocks at 6.5 per game. Finally, let's finish the standings for you here. Starting in the Eastern Conference, you see the Cavs, then the Celtics, then the Knicks. All three of those teams playing really well going into the break, 8-2 in their last 10 leading into the All-Star break, and also multiple game winning streaks led by the Cavs of winning 4. The one thing to look at there, is the opponent's points per game. The Knicks giving up 112.5. That is not necessarily a trend for a Tom Thibodeau coached team. So I want to see what can happen there. How about them Detroit Pistons, though? What a rise. Last 2 years in the league, worst record in National Basketball Association. Now they're sitting in 6th place with an over 500 record. Awesome story. In the West, you have the OKC Thunder, 8 games ahead of the Grizzlies. The Nuggets are streaking, though. They have the best win streak in the league right now at 8 games heading into the All-Star break. Something to look at there is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Remember that trade? AD, Luka Doncic, they're 6-4 in their last 10, essentially 500 since that trade, and on the threshold of a playoff spot and the play-in tournament. So let's see what happens there. Also, the other team involved in that, where Luka went, the Lakers, 8-2 in their last 10. Luka's healthy, LeBron's healthy. Let's see what the last 30% of the schedule looks for them. And then finally, what we need to do to end the show is what we always do to end the show.
Ba 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 na na ba 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 na na.
All right. We took the night off yesterday from making picks because there was no games on last night. So we said, you know what? Let's save our money and let's just give the people the next possible opportunity. So tonight there's only one game on. No National Hockey League, no baseball, but the NBA returns, and it's only one game. It's the very weak and not very good Hornets versus the aforementioned Lakers. So we get a chance now to see what we just talked about in action as soon as possible of LeBron James and Luka Doncic. The Lakers 32-20, the Hornets 13-39. The Lakers favored in this game by 12.5 points. So I'll take the Lakers at the 12.5. LeBron leads the team in points, assists, and rebounds. 24.3, 7.7 rebounds, 9.0 assists. I'm going to take LeBron over 7 assists. And then because I feel like this is going to be a really awesome experiment for the end of LeBron's career and the jumpstart of the rest of Luka's career, I just feel like this is going to work. So give me Luka at 20-plus points, LeBron at over 7 assists, and the Lakers winning by 12.5. And that is my daily bananas for the day. And that's the Rome Show. 12ouncesports.com, YouTube, X, Amazon, Roku. You know the drill. If you missed any part of the show, just get the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search the Rome Show podcast. We also replay it on Roku TV and 12 Ounce Sports, the YouTube. I'll be back Thursday morning, 7 a.m., as I always am. Until then, you have an electric day. And Andrew Romanella saying, peace.
Thank you for listening.